Which house has the best Fire Emblem Heroes units? In honor of 3 hopes, we're gonna pit them against each other in the ultimate battle for supremacy. Where will your favorite fall? Let's find out and stick around until the end where we'll discuss your summoning habits. But let's just jump right into L tier. Why L tier, you say? Let's just say that Lorenz embodies everything about this tier. He's hard to work with and decreases the team's value just by being present. Plus, he stole Karen's haircut. Anyway, I should mention that for every unit in this tier, the house loses a point. Since we've covered the Golden Deer, let's hop right over into the Blue Lions. This is a tough one. You guys know I love Dimitri, but Horse Dimitri is the only unit in this tier with a preference weapon because it's a bad weapon. It's a guaranteed counterattack with an HP condition. Why, IS? His Refine better be amazing, but these other units have no hope of a Refine. Academy Mercedes at least has decent fodder as a 4-star, but Summer Mercedes is just terrible. That stat line is unusable. Sylvain was okay for a hot minute, but time has not been kind to Tome Calves without a preference weapon. And hello, Black Eagles. I'm not a fan of Hubert, so I have no problem seeing him here, but it just feels like healers are doomed. Be nice to Linhardt. Flame Emperor is particularly painful because so many people built them up as an arena score bot. They then suffered greatly. Ferdy is just another piece of repo fodder in the 4-star pool. But let's move on to the Church. Yes, I'm including the Church. They're a strong faction in the story. Just ask KCB. Alfric represents the bottom of the barrel in a long line of mediocre infantry Red Tome Grail units. Rotha Rabbit? Really? This guy had no shot with Citri. Let's just move on. The Ashen Wolves have no one in this tier. They're way too good for this one. We'll get back to them later though. The Black Eagles and Blue Lions clearly suffered the most in this tier, but let's get to the tally. My Blue Lions are going to recover from this deficit, right? Right? No, come on, you can pull through, Dimitri. Let's move on to the next tier. We've come to C tier now. These units are outclassed in their specific role, but they can still be really fun to use. Let's give each house a single point for every unit in this tier, and we'll start with the Ashen Wolves. Baltus is one of our latest arena score bots that IS has given us, and he's okay. Low speed and mixed bulk mean that he's a mediocre enemy phase unit in a world of amazing nukes. It's not a great start for the Ashen Wolves, but it's only up from here. The Church has a nice showing with a pair of Byleths that are definitely at the top edge of their tier. Their preference weapon has some steep competition because, sword infantry. I guess I should address the elephant in the room though. Since Byleth starts as a professor in the Church, that's where I left them. But anyway, Sothis would be a much better unit if she wasn't a Dark Mythic. She's not bad at all, she just sucks at her job. Maybe a Refine makes her better? Anyway, Seteth is an amazing body busting out of a... Oh wait, I was supposed to say Seteth isn't just an amazing body busting out of a shirt. He's got a pretty decent stat line and a decent preference weapon. That's not bad for a 4-star. But let's move on to the next house. The Black Eagles showed up for this tier. Edelgard at least has a weapon that makes sense, even though it's not the most powerful right now. Poor Dimitri. Petra is really interesting with a beast effective weapon, but just doesn't have the attack to back it up. IS, give me a good Petra. Bernie. This is a good unit that's showing her age. I'm anxious to see her future, but for now, she's just got stiff competition. Remember when all you had to do to be good was be a dancer? In the era of duo peony, we're long past that. The fact that Dorothea was a Forma recently gave us a lot of skill options, but she's just a dancer. I had high hopes for Death Knight. He's such an amazing unit. This is a good unit for a GHB, but that of course means C tier. Caspar is in the same boat as Baltas, but with better speed. But let's move to the next house and watch them break my heart. Another Dimitri. Brave Dimitri is just disappointing. I've talked so much about him. Do you really feel like hearing more? 2 more months until a Refine. 2 more months. Ingrid is another unit with a great gimmick, but the recent speed creep has cratered her speed-checked fire sweep. My +1 Ascendant Nithune outspeeds her. Think about that. Let's leave my Blue Lions though. 2 Claudes. I'm hoping Promise isn't about to lunge into the screen and strangle me. They'll be better soon, I promise. Horse Claude wasn't amazing when he came out, and Brave Claude was destroyed by Fatal Smoke, and he just never recovered. Hilda's weapon is complicated, and the effect isn't great. Do I need to say more? Some might say the weapon was just lazy. Anyway, Raphael is decent for a 4-star focus, but we have so many options right now, and a lot of them have preference weapons. So let's look at the tally. How are my blue lions still negative? Come on, you can do it! The Golden Deer and the Church are going strong. Claude versus the Church just feels right for some reason. Time for the next tier? Let me know in the comments who your favorite house is. Who are you rooting for here? The units in B tier are competent role players, especially when given enough investment. I'm giving each house 2 points for every unit in this tier. The Ashen Wolves are blank, but we can jump into the Church. So many Church members. Shamir is another score bot, but she's a recent one. Still, she's got a solid stat line, and she's Shamir. What's not to love? Cyros is a surprisingly versatile unit. Her C-skill is a joke, but the rest of her kit is very synergistic with her min-max stat line. She dropped all of her speed and she gets an auto double. Plus she has a lot of bulk. Catherine is so underrated. NFU and Desperation are really good. Thunderbrand was worth the wait. Manuela is a 4-star special melee arbor. Have we said enough about how good melee armors are? Yeah, I think we have. If she had a preference weapon, she'd easily be higher. Gatekeeper. This is such an interesting unit without a good use. People keep trying, but he's just unique. Winter Sothis is the beneficiary of some amazing skills that they've given melee armors and dragons. Her resurgence has been quite unexpected, but I think we need more Edelgard. Literally, she's holding down the fort alone. I know Legendary Edelgard gets a bad rap, but Assault Troop makes her much better. When a unit gets 3 actions, they're just pretty good. But wait, good things are about to happen. The Blue Lions have finally showed up. It's Annette. She gives extra movement. She's outclassed by Astrid, but let's not talk about that. Summer Ingrid gets a ton of stats and healing from her weapon. That's about it. Ash is another unit that's overlooked because of his fodder. Turning bonuses into penalties is just a great effect, especially for Arena where he's designed to be. Dedu is yet another min-max melee armor. He comes fully kitted and ready to be your near-save fodder, I mean unit. But honestly, he's at the very bottom end of this tier list without a preference weapon. We're finally getting to the good Dimitris. Fallen Dimitri has Canto and Sweep in his B skill. His weapon, honestly, just switch that out to Ninja Naginata. It's perfect for him. Felix is surprisingly good with enough investment. It hasn't been the greatest time for ranged armors, but since he's a Grail unit, you can merge him up. All right, let's see how these upstart Golden Deer punks are doing. Great. They're doing great. IS is playing favorites, and I don't like it. Ignatz is in the same boat as Felix, but without the personality. And Marianne represents a dying breed, the ranged infantry tank. She's got a guaranteed follow-up and healing. It would be nice if she had more defense, or better yet, if they had just made her a beast unit like I asked. Winter Hilda would be so amazing with a preference weapon. Still, she's a 4-star special who has a great stat line. Leonie has a really nice stat line and an updated BST. She's also easy to merge, and that counts a lot for a very valuable class. The Lysithias. I'm going to get them at the same time. They do a lot of damage. They're really good at doing a lot of damage. That makes them good. But it's time to tally up everything. The Blue Lions are negative, and they're beating the Black Eagles. Also, why is the Church doing so well? Claude, you're supposed to be taking care of these guys. But let's get to the next tier. We have made it to A tier. These are units that are dominant in at least one mode. The teams get a whopping 3 points per unit, and I can feel it. My Blue Lions are going to make a comeback. But first, the Ashen Wolves are about to re-enter the match. Constance is just a really creative unit with the alternating effects per turn. It's a nice callback, and NFU is always good on flyers. I wanted Agnia's arrow to be a little stronger just because I used it so much in the game, but this is still a really good unit. Happy has effective damage against units that are coming into prominence right now. Add in cooldown reduction, and this unit can hit hard. If she had auto double, she'd probably be an S tier. The Ashen Wolves have a great showing here, but let's check in on the evil that is the church. 6 units. I'm starting to see where IS's true allegiance lies. 18 points is just so much. Shamir is a great unit out of the box. The sweep effect in her weapon combined with NFU makes her a vector killer. Plus, she's Shamir. Legendary female Byleth is right on the edge of moving up a tier. She hits really hard and has warping, but she's limited to that. She's still an amazing unit. Witch Rhea is like Saros, but all of her effects become dual phase and she's blessable. The combination is potent. Just watch KCB use her in rival Bromains. Flame may have lost some value because Elamine exists, but she's still just so potent and brain dead to use. Newsflash, area of effect damage reduction is really good. She ditched her real dad to team up with Hector. Lilina is very jealous. Duo Sothis has actually gotten better since she released simply because it's getting easier to use duo skills and dragons keep getting new toys. Personally, if I had her, she'd be instant fodder, but I've seen her used to great effect against me. Wait, I hate this unit. Why is she this high? Dual Byleth is hard to take seriously because she's such an obvious money grab, but she's still a really good unit. High damage plus NFU lends itself to the Windsweep build that everyone loves. She has 6 less attack than Constance, but she also has a duo skill. Let's move on to our next house though. You know, the only one doing worse than the Blue Lions. The Black Eagles bring another Edelgard. You might have heard her users complain about how weak she is, but Brave Edelgard is 2 years old and they're still using her. This might have been one of the best investments of all of Fae. Bernie does things that only Bernie can do. People forget that she's also a good combat unit because she mostly just enables Vantage. That alone would be good enough to put her here though. Alright, time for the Blue Lions to shine with 1 unit. Come on, IS. I mean, this is a really good unit. He's been overshadowed a bit by another house leader that got to team up with Altina, but Atrocity is really good. This unit can beat up some Brave Hectors. Let's look at a house that got a lot more love. 4 units in A tier. This is proof that Promise works for IS, by the way. Look at these guys. Legendary Claude only misses S tier because of the recent speed creep. He really is a very good unit, and I don't need to tell you why. Popsicle Claude is the best 4-star special we've ever had. I keep seeing people calling him bait, but how? He's not bait, he's a gift. Brave Mary Ann. Oblivion and DTM, are you happy now? She's just so unique, but I still think she needs a lot of merges to fully realize her potential. But A tier is really good. Summer Hilda is another overlooked unit. This flying healer hits so hard, and duo skills are starting to see more use with summoner duels and clever catapult placements. Add in drive special acceleration, and this unit does a lot of things. Also, 2 Mariannes in A tier. Are you all finally happy with me? What do we do with this tally though? The Golden Deer and the Church are just destroying everyone, and I blame Marianne. Somehow it's her fault, but can Claude beat the Church? It's okay, at least the Blue Lions are still beating the Black Eagles. What could possibly go wrong? S tier is where the heavy hitters are. These units have shaped the meta in multiple modes, and also are really fun to use. I'm giving each house 4 points per unit. No one is surprised by this first one. If I would have done an average rating, the Ashen Wolves would have taken this competition. No kidding. Yuri is, well, Yuri. He's got an amazingly min-max stat line, a crazy positional skill and foul play, fixed canto, 3 movement, and skill inheritance has been really good to him with lethality. Yuri's fantastic. And of course the Church gets 2 units. Byleth has somehow gotten better with age. Dragons are everywhere, so Sublime Heaven is even more powerful. The Wary effect is also everywhere, so a drive null follow-up got better. He also has a great stat line. I know PM1 was not happy about getting so many of him, but I think this unit is going to be good for a while. Rhea is the best far save tank in the game right now. Will that change? Certainly. But right now, she's just great. If you need a completely brain-dead way to complete AR content, this unit is it. But let's move on from IS's obvious favorite. Though, is it any shock that the Black Eagles have 2 Edelgards in S tier? Now, I know I'm gonna take some flack for Fallen Edelgard, but there's a reason you still see her everywhere. This is one of the true dual phase threats in the game, and she's just so versatile. She's not the powerhouse she once was, but in Chaos Season, I still had to make sure that I had a counter to her in every single team. That's right. Somehow, after a year, she's still meta-defining. Harmonic Edelgard is just as versatile, but with a heavier player phase leaning. We've honestly just scratched the surface of what she can do, and we should be seeing plus 10 versions of her everywhere for the next year. I've seen her with Hardy Fighter, I've seen her with her base kit, I've seen her with Fury 7, I've seen her with save skills. Buckle up, folks. Edelgard is not done with us. Let's go see my Blue Lions. It'll be good news, right? No, it isn't. 1 unit, and I love Legendary Dimitri, but he's at the bottom of this tier. Several inheritable skills have given him quite the renaissance, but lack of NFU will always hold him back. Still, he works well in so many modes. This is an amazing unit. I just can't believe that IS hasn't given the Blue Lions more. Fine, I'll quit pouting. Is it time to fear the deer? Boom! Harmonic Lysithea. This is another unit that I just keep thinking is going to fall off, but I should have learned from Reinhardt. Brave Tomes are amazing. I keep finding ways to use her. She's my Aether Raid's defense queen. She can be a tank breaker on Aether Raid's offense. If you have C dual cav, she's amazing in arena. In SD, well, she's great in summoner duels when the deflect magic seal isn't present. She sits closer to Dimitri than Edelgard in the S bracket, but still, this is a very good unit. All right, time to face the music. How does everyone stack up? 41 points for the Church. Even without Byleth, they still beat out the Deer by 1 point. IS clearly likes them best. This is not the way the Battle of the Eagle and Lion is supposed to go. But the Golden Deer showed up. 31 points put them in the clear lead of the true houses, and IS has shown them a lot of love recently. The Black Eagles have Edelgard. And come on, Blue Lions. You couldn't do a little better? You guys just wait until base Felix rocks the meta. He'll change everything. We talked about it, but for how few units they have, the Ashen Wolves did quite well. If you're a fan, which I am, I'd consider this a victory. When Abyss Keeper shows up, they'll be even better. So, there you have it. The Church won. The only one happy about this is KCV. I want to do just a little bit of analysis on this chart to help us all with our future summoning and investment decisions though. The first obvious thing is newer units are always better. But it's worth looking at why some of these older units have stayed high. To put it simply, unique units stay good. It's why Winter Bernie is so high when she really has no right to be. When I'm choosing investments, I always look for units that have some sort of supportive capability. That includes stuff like Yuri's Foul Play. The ability to move units around the map is definitely amazing. Now there's a limit to this. We have examples like Gatekeeper. The problem is his uniqueness solves a problem that we've already solved with save skills. Still, he's worth watching. The other thing to pay attention to is skill inheritance. Sometimes IS plays favorites like when they insist on making the Church good. Melee armors are their current darlings. Hardy Fighter, Savior skills, Assault Troop, these are all phenomenal skills and they mean you don't have to invest in premium units to get a lot out of this class. The last thing is, it takes something really special to be an enemy phase unit that has staying power. There are 22 units in S and A tier. Of those, Fallen Rhea, Fallen Edelgard, Brave Edelgard, and maybe Summer Edelgard could be considered enemy phase units. Brave and Fallen Edelgard are the only 2 units that are more than a year old. They both have a list of ridiculous skills that make your eyes pop out. Just be careful fully investing into units like this. Sometimes they expire quickly. So, we made it through! Happy 3 Hopes Month! And with exactly 69 units that we reviewed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and schedule an appointment with your fail just real soon.